All right, ladies and gentlemen. So in this video, what I want to talk to you about is this topic that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while now, and it's whether or not Brazil's 7-1 loss to Germany could have been prevented. Now, as you guys know, it's almost going to be in 2 months. Well, in a month and a half, it's going to be exactly 5 years since the dreaded 7-1 loss that Brazil had to endure at the hands of Germany in their own home in Brazil in the 2014 World Cup. Now, I don't know about you, but the 2014 World Cup was probably one of the best World Cups I've ever seen personally. I think it was better. Well, no, I'm not going to say that, but it was certainly definitely up there with the 2010 World Cup, but Brazil were the host of the 2014 World Cup a year earlier. They won the FIFA Confederations Cup, so it looked like that Brazil were poised to win the World Cup in their own home. Because I mean, if they can defeat the three-time international champions, the three-time international treblist in Spain, because they beat Spain 3-0 in the Confederations Cup final, then it looked like that Brazil was going to go on and just easily sweep past all the opponents in the tournament and win their sixth World Cup title. Unfortunately, it did not happen against Germany, because I don't know what happened to Brazil in that game, but that was definitely the worst performance I've ever seen in a World Cup by an international team, let alone the biggest defeat in a World Cup tournament, 7-1. Like, I'm sorry, but because of that 7-1, that just that loss was just absolutely humiliating, and it doesn't matter whether it's 10 or 20 years from now, that loss will go down as possibly the most humiliating loss I've ever seen in a World Cup tournament, because prior to the game, Brazil they beat Chile on penalties, and then they beat Colombia 2-1, and then Germany, they got out, they won the group stage where they would beat I think it was the first leg they won against France, and then the second leg they won against or was it the first leg that they played against, yeah, I think it was the round of 16 where they played against Algeria, where they won 2-1, and then they beat France 1-0 to set up a matchup with Germany. And boy, it looked like it was going to be a crazy game. And Germany in the World Cup in Brazil were without a doubt the best team. I mean, they just easily swept past the tournament like no other way, because I'm trying to figure out like what exactly happened in Brazil in that game, like whether Brazil just cracked under pressure, because yes, there was a tremendous amount of pressure for Brazil to win the World Cup in their own house, because I mean it's their own home, and plus they spent like what $20 billion on a new football team that's not being used today or something like that. And yeah, so yeah, in the game, in the first half, in the first 5 minutes, the game looked like an even matchup. But then after that, Germany started picking things up. Then all the momentum just shifted towards Germany's side, and then Germany just completely and utterly just they just absolutely took advantage of that momentum. Okay, that's pretty much all I can say. Germany took advantage of that momentum, and they just absolutely just outperformed Brazil. And I think after the second goal, Brazil looked completely lost. And yeah, that's when I think that Brazil cracked under pressure. Because after that second goal, it was then 5-0 in like 5 minutes. And honestly, dude, Germany could have easily won that game 10-0. That's how bad Brazil played in that game against Germany. Germany could have easily freaking won that game 10-0, because I watched the post game. Well, yeah, I read about that game. I did my research on the game, and I think it was Hummels who admitted that Germany could have easily just kept on scoring goals, but they chose to play conservative just because they felt bad for Brazil. I think it was Hummels who said that. I'm not sure, but it just goes to show you, man, that not having Thiago Silva and not having Neymar in that game really hurt Brazil tremendously, because in the game against Colombia, Neymar got hurt, and Neymar was having a great tournament, and Thiago Silva, he got suspended for the Colombia game. And I think that if Thiago Silva wasn't suspended, and I think if Neymar was playing, then I think that this could have been a different game. Well, I still think Germany would have likely won that game. They probably would have won that game, I say maybe 2 or 3-0. But if Neymar and Thiago Silva was playing, then I don't think the game would have ended 7-1 to Germany. It certainly would have not happened at all, because Neymar and Thiago Silva were very crucial defenders for Brazil. And no defenders. What am I saying? Yeah, Thiago Silva was a very crucial defender, and Neymar was a very crucial player. They both were crucial players, and for them and their absence were definite. They could not have been replaced. Unfortunately, man, Brazil could not have replaced Neymar or Thiago Silva, and I think because of Thiago Silva's absence, then that's the reason why Germany just completely just embarrassed and humiliated Brazil. And It looked like in the 2018 World Cup in Russia that maybe Brazil was going to redeem themselves for that 7-1 humiliating loss to Germany, but then they got knocked out by Belgium, surprisingly. And yeah, I mean, wow, it just goes to show you that that 7-1 loss. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Sometimes I still get the chills about that game just because of that score, 7-1. Imagine losing 7-1 in your own home. Losing 7-1 in your own home is just the worst thing that can possibly happen. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no other way for me to say this. So yeah, I think that if Neymar didn't get hurt, and I think if Thiago Silva wasn't suspended, then I think that likely that 7-1 loss to that 7-1 loss to Germany would not have happened at all. So, anyways, please let me know what you guys think. This, whether you think I'm right, whether you think I'm wrong, whether you think this was bound to happen. Please let me know all of that stuff in the comment section down there below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.